It's high-speed business at a record pace.
Don't get 70 miles per gallon on this funk. This is shipment made at Castle.
Oh man, here we are. Welcome to the Fast Ones. Can you hear me? Everyone hear me out there? Welcome to the show. We are the Fast Ones. My name is Max. I'm one of your hosts, and here with me today, like every other day, is Mike.
Yes.
My buddy Mike.
Hello. Sorry for walking in front of the camera during the broadcast.
Yeah, Kevin was snowboarding today and sprained his ankle. He can't walk.
Well, I mean, happens to the best of us.
Not to the best. Yeah, I guess. Not to the best snowboarders, though.
Not to the guys who wear their boots right.
Kevin had him on the wrong feet.
It sounds ultra Canadian to roll your ankle snowboarding.
Sprained it. I mean, yeah, it's in the binding.
Yes.
But on the way to the car,
You wearing Converse?
we need to talk to Kevin to get behind. Get to the
calling
bottom
from
of this.
a
Kevin, are you
walkie-talkie?
Kevin? Are you watching today? We miss you,
Miss you,
Kevin. Yeah, let us know in the comments, Kevin, how you sprained your ankle.
If you want to just like elaborate a little bit, it would be helpful.
Yeah, but no, dude, we missed last week.
We did.
But it was the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Or a week and a half ago, whatever it was. This upcoming week, we have the Miami Grand Prix.
Yep.
So we have kind of a we can talk about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We can talk about the Miami coming up. We
Right.
also have a lot of other news and things that is happening in the F1 world right now that we can talk about, but we'll get into it. I don't know what order we're going to be going in. But first off, top of the thing, we were just talking about your buddy Ryan that I met this week, who's a big listener, big fan of the show.
Yeah. Awesome dude. All
Awesome
around.
dude. And he took us out in some really cool cars this weekend.
Yeah. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And very enjoyable to get out. And I mean, I haven't been doing car shows for like a while, or car meets, I guess.
Yeah.
But he has a replica Speedster and
Porsche.
Porsche Speedster.
50s, 60s era, I would say. I'm
Yeah.
not a big...
I mean,
I don't know the history of the Porsche. Like, I would say that's a 1950s to 1960s looking Porsche.
Correct. Yeah.
Man, so like, I got a text from you on Saturday, like, do you want to go to a car show and ride with me in like a Speedster to the car show? And I'm like, I've done that with you before. I'm like, yeah, we'll go. So we go to your buddy's house, Ryan, and he has a really nice 911, newer,
He has a 996 GT2,
which is crazy
which is
rare.
super rare.
And super gorgeous looking.
Yeah, great
And he
car.
has a really cool AMG wagon that is insane. Then he has this old Porsche Speedster. And then he's like, hey, what are we all driving? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean? Yeah.
And we all got to drive a car to the car show.
I called Max initially thinking like, oh, I'm going to take Max in the Speedster.
And I was like, I want to ride shotgun and it'll be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be a couple of dudes rolling in a Speedster. Nothing questionable about that at all.
Yeah, nothing weird.
But like, but then, yeah, we ended up driving 3 separate cars, and it was super fun.
Yeah.
So
Definitely a highlight in my car life.
yeah.
So fun. Because, yeah, driving that little Speedster, so fun.
And we were just talking about this. I think it's a very
kit
interesting
cars.
conversation. Yeah, like kit cars, replicas. Like as we move into the future, I am a purist at heart when it comes to like classic cars. And if any of you guys follow me on Instagram for my photography stuff, you know that I'm a diehard Porsche fanatic, and I know way too much about the history of the company and the brand and all the car models and whatever. But it's funny as we move into the future and these things just get to outrageous, unobtainable prices. Like no one is ever,
Yeah.
like no one
how
that I
much
know.
is like a really nice like Speedster? Like $1 million.
Yeah.
800,000, like $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, are you going to be able to go and romp that around and have fun with it if you have median income? No.
No, you're gonna put that on a flatbed and like take it to the car show
Yeah.
and then like slowly wheel it off,
And
park it
it'll-
there, put it back on the flatbed and take it home, and it won't come out.
And it
for
won't
2
come out
years.
of a bubble.
Yeah.
It'll be Jake Gyllenhaal in your garage.
Yeah.
Just Bubble Boy as a car. So-
I forgot about that movie. Whoa.
So
Okay.
yeah. So, but that's the state that we've gotten. These cars are museum pieces now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as we move further into the future, I'm like, way less anti-replica, way less anti-kit car, especially if they're done super to spec.
Yeah.
Rad. Enjoy them.
There's no way you'd look at this like replica car and be like, oh, it's a fake. You're like, this looks gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's dope.
And it has a little bit more powerful engine in it.
Yeah.
And it's just, fun to drive around in. Like kicks butt going up a hill.
Yeah.
And everyone's yelling out their window like, this is a cool
Yeah,
car.
like that's sick. And it's like, it is fake, but thank you.
It's
I
dope.
don't care.
Yeah.
It's just very fun. So
Yeah.
But the GT2 is real.
And I'll tell you what.
That car was freaking fast and rad.
Yeah. I don't think they make kit cars.
Not of GT2s. No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe in 60 years from now.
On
I
like a
guess.
Beetle engine chassis.
They take the modern version of the
Yeah,
Beetle and
yeah.
cut it up and make
Yeah.
a GT2 out of it. Okay. Yeah.
I think like riding around a replica car, you might get like the Porsche enthusiast being like, this is fake.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you who won't think it's fake. Every girl
Right.
that you
yeah.
want to pick up on.
Yeah. Oh, no.
For
no.
me.
Do you know who?
I'm like, yes. They
Look,
don't care.
I've owned a lot of old vehicles over the years, and if there's one thing that I've learned is that the only thing you attract in an old car is dudes.
Yeah. I
If
learned
you're
that
looking for
lesson.
people to have a conversation with while you're pumping gas, buy an old car
Yeah.
because that's who's
Yeah.
gonna talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, but it's anyways. I just think that we've got to change that stigma for people
Yeah.
who want to be able to enjoy.
I'm now
old
looking
stuff.
into cool replica kit cars
Why not?
of really
There's
nice
definitely
looking
some
cars.
that are better than others.
like a Pontiac Fiera Lamborghini. Is that the coolest replica kit car?
Perfect example of what I'm talking
Like a
about.
Testarossa
It is
Fiera?
exactly what I think we should be investing in.
No,
right
I
now.
was looking at that Porsche kit car online. And I was like, dang, like this is not expensive.
Yeah. I believe they're called Becker 904s as
Okay.
well, which is like 904 is one of my favorite classic Porsches. No one's ever going to drive a 904 again, at least not at full tilt unless they
No.
have an insane insurance plan.
Yeah.
So to have one that's like built to like exactly Porsche spec with a little bit better motor, it's reliable, like
I would tell
How
you.
could you hate those?
No, you can't. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I will tell you what. I have had a fantasy. Everyone has a fantasy of being gajillionaires, whatever.
Yeah.
If I was like a gajillionaire, I would daily drive the most rare cars.
yeah.
Or like a brand new Pagani.
Who cares?
I would daily drive that to McDonald's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
trash the heck out of it.
Right.
And it would be amazing because no one else would do that.
Just take like a Ferrari 250 GTO, which sold for like 70 million. This is the most valuable.
Yeah. And that's my car to
Classic.
go pick up my
And
groceries
you-
in Target.
It has like the slide window. That's like a tiny slot. You're just like slide it open. You're
Trying
like,
to get like my soda.
The
like,
McFlurry.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Like, can I get this through the window?
You're gonna have to go to Dairy Queen where they can flip the shake upside down to get it through the window.
Just exclusive, like get it. Like, ugh. Yeah, I love that.
So-
that would be the best. It'd be the best.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, it was a good Saturday. So
Yeah,
thanks
it was
again
a
to
blast.
Ryan.
Yeah,
That was
thank
fun.
you, Ryan.
He says he never usually catches the first 5 minutes of the live show, so we'll see.
So probably miss it. But
Anyway,
follow
moving-
Utah Racing Club on
That's right.
Instagram. I think is
Utah
the
Racing
name of
Club. They're
the-
starting up a cool thing.
Yeah, on Instagram is pretty cool. So
Yeah,
check
if you
them
don't follow us, at least follow them.
out. We promote other Instagrams, not our own.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it right, Max.
Oh man, so Miami Grand Prix this
yes.
week.
Oh yes.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Man, leading up to the Grand Prix, what song are you blasting? Which artist are you blasting? Because I know who I'm blasting.
Mr. Worldwide.
Wrong. And that answer is Pantera.
Ghost. They got a new album out. Come
I
on,
know.
Max.
Think in your heart of hearts, Pantera seems pretty Floridian.
Seems really southern Florida panhandle tropical.
That's what I'm listening to.
Right.
Okay, so you got that question wrong. You should be listening to Pantera or
Yes.
Metallica. I was listening
Yes.
to that today.
Or Will Smith.
Or Will Smith. Okay. I actually, Miami has been my go-to karaoke song for decades.
Forever.
And I have those words memorized. And now everyone's jumping on because it's the Miami Grand Prix, which is great.
Right.
And I hope Will Smith is happy about that.
Yeah. Mine's Nights on Broadway by the Bee Gees, if anyone's wondering. Before we move on, I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Comment in the chat what your favorite karaoke go-to song is, and we'll rate it and judge it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone does Smash Mouth,
my Barry
boo.
Smash Mouth. Oh.
Okay, So F1 did a post, and it's the one that's pinned to their account right now.
Oh, pinned.
So it's like, hey, Miami is this week. We have pictures of cars going around the circuit, and we have 4 drivers.
Oh,
Who would you pick to represent the season thus far, and who is going to be at the Miami Grand Prix to get people in those seats and watching the race? Who would you pick?
Franco Colapinto.
Not far off, but no. These guys do drive on the grid.
George Russell.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm like intentionally bombing this.
You're bombing this because these are actual bombs on this.
Yeah,
These
Lance Stroll.
No. Like, Lando Norris.
Right.
He's not leading the championship.
He's definitely not.
Wouldn't you put Oscar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Max Verstappen makes sense.
Right.
Reigning kind of defending champ.
Right.
Esteban Ocon. I'm stoked that a Haas driver's on the thing, but I'm like,
But the
it's
French-
crazy that you're putting a
French
Haas
Spanish
driver
guy?
on it. Yeah, crazy that you're putting a Haas driver on the thing.
Yeah.
I get it. It's like the Haas home race, so stoked about that.
But I don't feel like they did that with Hulk or Mag
No, they never
or
did.
Roman.
Yeah.
Roman.
Yeah. And the last one is Bortoletto, the steak rookie driver.
Gabby?
Gabby's on the thing.
Yeah.
So
I guess
I'm
there's-
confused. I would have put maybe Oscar.
Yeah.
I would have kept Max.
Yeah.
And maybe someone who's going to draw a crowd like
Lewis. Charles.
Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even Pierre Gasly to me, I'm like, I don't know, still in the running as being like one of the more, handsome, cool guys
Yeah.
in this sport. I don't know.
And then pick another guy on I can't stand George. But like if you're going with like the top teams, Mercedes driver,
yeah.
it's either him or Kimi.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, just funny.
It's just, that is
Sometimes I was like Bortoletto.
Bortoletto, Ocon,
I was like
and Lando?
Lando just lost the championship. Like Oscar's the winner right now. He's riding high.
Lando just stopped leading the championship
Wow.
for the rest of the year.
Lando
It's
is
over.
listening to My Chemical Romance in a dark room right now, crying. And Oscar is riding high.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of funny post.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I had for the top of the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a great start.
Those are the things
It's
that
good to know where F1's head's at.
Yeah.
Leading into this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I
weekend.
think they're still really pushing for Lando.
they're still really pushing for Lando.
The
And Will I
McLaren
Am.
driver from England.
Yeah.
They really want this to happen. I
Yes.
feel.
Yeah.
I feel like it. They're
yeah.
just like, let's not accept that Oscar's in the championship lead right now.
Right.
Let's keep Lando front and center. He won it last year. Maybe that's why. He got his
Right.
first win last year at Miami.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Maybe it's a defending championship thing, but it's not like Esteban had a great race last year. In fact, I think Esteban had to be taken to the hospital because he had an over 40G crash last year. I think it was during one of the practice sessions. Correct me if I'm
okay,
wrong.
crazy.
Anyone in the chat who wants to contribute.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was during a practice session.
Yeah.
It wasn't during the race. But anyway,
Anyway, funny post.
funny post. So
I thought that was funny.
moving forward to
forward.
to the next topic. Now that we've discussed that Formula One loves.
Loves Gabby Bortoletto. Yeah.
Yes.
The real star of
Yeah.
Formula One.
Fernando's protege.
Fernando's protege.
Did you know that Fernando's his manager?
What?
Yeah.
You can have a manager that's a driver.
Oh yeah.
I guess you can have a manager that's doing anything.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm like Mark Webber manages Oscar, but I guess he's retired.
But he's retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Fernando's been Gabby's manager for a long time.
What's he doing for Gabby?
He's the one who negotiated the contract with Sauber.
Are you serious? I
Yeah.
had no idea.
He's also the private jet that Gabby gets to and from races on.
Yeah.
So during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix where they almost crashed,
Yeah.
in the cool down room, Oscar, it was the only time that Max interacted with the other two because he was fuming mad. And Oscar said something like, ooh, he might not have a flight home tonight. And Max like chuckled, and it was the only time he moved at all during the cool down room. But yeah, anyways, that they're very tied together. those two.
Interesting.
So
What do you think advice Alonso gives to Gabby? It's like, he's like friends,
right.
women, religion. He's like, these are the 3 demons you need to slay in order to be a world champion. That's lesson number 1 from Fernando Alonso.
Lesson number 1. Do the opposite of Lando Norris, and you will be world champion.
He's like, kids, family, anything that will bring warmth to your heart,
Parachutes.
cut it loose.
Cut it out.
He's like, your life is racing or it is nothing.
Or it's death.
Because that's Alonso's life.
It is.
That is how he lives.
It is all 200 miles an hour. So
Was it him that said that like he knew Schumacher would back out of the corner?
Yeah.
That's life lessons.
and
That's not even a joke.
a 43-year-old man still with no kids
Yeah.
is proving the point that he has no parachute.
Because honestly, think about it. If you're out there and if you have kids, look deep into your heart of hearts and ask, would you give up all your kids to race Formula One? The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Spoken like a true single man with no children.
I don't know what that joy's like, but I know what it's like to drive a really nice car after this weekend, and that seems pretty sweet.
It's definitely fun. It's definitely fun.
Me and Alonso, the same person.
Identical in every way.
Yep.
But yeah, so
So that's interesting. Fun
Yeah.
fact.
totally.
Let's. What do you want to do?
Let's continue talking down the rookie lane.
thing, because
Yeah.
I was like, I've been thinking about that a lot the past week. We're 5 races in, and we're starting to see kind of how rookies are shaking down on the grid. I know who I would pick as rookie of the year if we're just going based off of the first 5 races.
Yeah.
And that's Ollie Behrman.
I mean, it's hard to argue.
He's
with.
crushing it.
He's doing great.
He's doing great, and he's
Yeah.
doing it in a Haas.
Right.
I mean, Kimi Antonelli's also doing great, but he's in a Mercedes.
He's also in arguably the second fastest car.
Yeah, which is
It's
you're going to be
comparing
performing well if you are
apples to oranges.
If you're a great driver, which he is, then you are going to be racking up points, doing really well in the Mercedes.
Right.
Ollie Behrman's right in that like mid-pack hustle with a lot of rookies. He's doing really good.
I know. And part of what's tricky about this is I do think that like, look, there's an obvious reason why this is going to be a very difficult year for rookie of the year because we have a ton of rookies, but the disparity in car is wildly different. That's a very Formula One trait, but surprising to see Racing Bulls be such a good team this year and to see Isaac Hadjar performing so well. Liam Lawson had a decent race in Saudi Arabia, but like, yeah, it's like comparing Ollie Behrman to Isaac Hadjar right now is still feels super unfair, given that Hadjar's car has proven that it can be in the points every week, whereas the Haas has been hit or miss depending on racetrack. What the car's going to have, what's going to be stronger, but whereas the Racing Bull seems like it's good pretty much everywhere. So it's like if we're basing Rookie of the Year solely on points rather than performances, then yeah, Kimmy's probably got this one locked up.
Yeah, and is that how it should go?
I don't feel like it should.
Is that how it has in the past?
I believe so.
Oh, okay.
But if I'm talking like performances in the sense of like positions gained and how much of the car, like how could you quantify you being the driver and making up the difference? And I think that that's such a hard thing to say. But like the fact that Behrman has outperformed Esteban Ocon, who's been in the sport as long as he has,
He's a race
and
winner.
he's a race winner, is really showing his stuff. It's super impressive.
It's very impressive.
I mean, in Esteban's defense, which most of you will know that I'm not great at doing.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But in his defense, Ollie had tested for the team and raced for the team last year.
Yeah, he has more
So
time
he
in
does
the car.
have more time with Haas and the Ferrari power unit.
Yeah.
But all that to say, he's still a rookie and he's still hanging with the best of them.
Yeah, which is really cool.
It's awesome.
Was there a year recently, and I might not be like, maybe I'm diverting from the topic a little bit. Is there a year recently where there has just been one rookie?
Oh yeah, I feel like
I
feel like Oscar was maybe solo,
maybe. Like,
I'm forgetting.
Did he get rookie of the year?
probably. Which
Do they
doesn't
still
mean
give out the rookie of the year if there's one rookie?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, but
Yeah.
you definitely win it.
Yeah.
Um,
At that moment, like how much weight does rookie of the year even hold?
that
Not a lot?
Not enough,
Because
in my opinion.
I'm really testing you now. I'm really
Yeah.
testing you now. How many people on the grid won rookie of the year?
Lewis,
Lewis?
yeah,
Okay. So
but Lewis almost won the championship his first year.
that's impressive.
So that's for sure. Fernando probably did. I believe Kimmy did.
Did Max? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, probably.
Like who is in each other's like incoming class? you know?
Yeah. But like, there's been some people that haven't come through the ranks that did win it. Like I think Robert Kubica won Rookie of the Year. Obviously, there's reasons why Robert never became world champion or anything because he's the driver that had that tragic rally accident that like pretty much mangled one of his hands. And
Yeah, I don't know about this.
you don't know
What are
about
talking
Robert Kubica?
Was he driving Formula One when he
No.
went to rally?
He was rallying. Yeah, he was. And he was
Okay.
just doing a rally kind of like for fun.
Okay.
And, some of the drivers do have some liberties to do things like this. But this is where, like, when this happened, this is when the teams really started to, like, tighten up their contracts, being like, you cannot do things that can jeopardize your F1, job while you're in the race season. So Robert hit a guardrail, went into the car, and
Oh gosh.
really messed up I think it was left hand. Long road to recovery,
Wow.
and didn't think he was going to race F1 ever again, but he raced for Williams
Okay.
for, I think, 2 seasons after recovering.
Mm-hmm.
But it was during that time. I think he might have even been teammates with George.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was after the team had declined pretty heavily. So we never really got to see Kubica at his best again.
Interesting. And he might have been really good.
Everyone said he was a future world champ.
Oh shoot, that's crazy.
And so his story is pretty tragic.
Dang.
But anyway, so side jaunt.
Okay.
That's the story of Robert
Interesting
Kubica.
story. Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm pretty sure Vettel won.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go through and really like do some research here.
Yeah.
Kevin, why'd you roll your ankle? We need you. We want to know who the rookie of the year contenders have been and won and who didn't. And maybe there's some surprises in there, like, people like Max or somebody who like may not have won it. I'm sure Max did, but maybe someone else.
If we're gonna like, for sure claim someone right now, Kimi Antonelli, if it's just points based.
If it's points based, it's gonna be Kimi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Ollie has it in performance.
Yeah, and just showing up and really putting on a show.
If Kimi ends up outperforming George, then Kimi has it.
I mean,
If Kimi saves the day by destroying George,
yeah,
I will vote for him all day long.
all day long.
Yeah.
But I think that let's put it this way. It's like, what are the radio messages that we have from Kimi that are memorable this year? Can you remember his?
No, tell me.
When Bono was like, you have the fastest lap of the race right now. And he's like,
like,
I'm putting it all out here. I'm like pushing as hard as I can. Like, it's like so gassed, right? Full, just so much energy. And then what's the most memorable from Ollie?
Ciao, dude.
And it's like between those two personalities, who sounds like they have the killer?
Mm-hmm.
It's Behrman.
It's Behrman. He's British too, so he's got that going for him.
He's got the entire sport backing him. Mm-hmm. They all want to work with him.
Dude, what about some other rookies? We talked about Hajar,
Yeah,
Behrman, and Kimi.
I mean, Bortoletto's on the poster.
He is crushing it.
Yeah,
We all know the fans want more of the Bordeaux, the old Gabby Bort.
they all want a piece of the Bordeaux from Seas Candy.
I think, we know. When you think about Miami, you think about Bordeaux.
You're thinking about Brazil. It's very strange. But
How is Gabby Bortoletto doing? What do you think?
I mean, he's had some moments.
It's
for
hard
sure.
with the steak
Yeah.
car. They suck.
They're really rough.
Yeah.
And they have moments of like, hey, that car's not terrible, but it's still hard to like gauge him against anybody. And then when he has a spin out or a crash or whatever, it's like, is that really his fault?
Yeah.
Or is it more of him pushing the limit of the car? He's a rookie. The car's slow.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep up. I don't think you can point the finger at him and say he's not doing a good job.
Yeah.
I think he's doing well.
But he's going to be on the team when it switches to Audi.
He will be.
How long does he have a contract for? Do you know?
Because they switched to Audi next year.
Yeah.
And I believe he has a contract for 2 years.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong. That could be a single year contract.
Okay. Fun to see him next year. See if he has any skills in a faster car.
Yeah.
Jack Doohan.
Yeah.
I was hearing what?
No, it's just I just feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He's the target.
What do you mean he's the target?
Just because Franco Colapinto is on the team, and I think he's the one that's being monitored the most as like you're replaceable.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's been terrible.
Has been terrible.
Pierre's had some moments that have looked great, but it's also Pierre.
It's Pierre. He's great. And he's been in that seat for a while.
Yeah, so it's hard to say that the rookie isn't
And sometimes the
Measuring
Alpine looks terrible.
Yeah.
And Jack Doohan seems to get good performances every now and then.
Yeah.
In the 5 races we've seen him.
Yeah, and some bad strategies and things. I think like Bahrain that he was on, or even maybe Saudi Arabia, he was like in the points, but his tires were like 10 laps older than everybody, so he was dropping like a rock. It's like, that's not his fault.
Yeah.
So, because they made him, they pitted under the safety car at the beginning of the race.
Okay.
And so he was on way older tires, losing places like crazy. It's like, that's a strategy move. That's not his fault.
Yeah. I heard from Gunter Steiner, he would say that if Jack Doohan hasn't, established any performance out of that car by summer break, they might replace him.
I think that that's a more reasonable timeline than most people gave him. Most people were like 4 races. I was like 4 races.
Yeah, Alpine
Like,
isn't Red Bull.
if he crashed every race, then yeah, that might be like, oh, maybe we need to analyze this.
And then how many crashes did Colapinto have? He had a few,
Quite a few.
some bad ones.
Yeah, the Brazil crashes, he had 2 in Brazil that were like full rebuilds. So it's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But
I would
that's
say
a
that
good. That's a good window.
He's definitely the one that's like the most, like I said, being looked at, the most observed rookie at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And then last is what's his bucket? Liam Lawson.
Liam right now is flying under the radar like so well.
Yeah.
Like it's like just stay off of everyone's radar as best you can. Perform well and find a seat somewhere else. That's my advice, at least.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be banking on Red Bull.
No.
I'd
I don't
move
know
on.
why anyone would want to bank on Red Bull.
No.
Yeah. Max wants to leave.
Right.
Yeah. Yuki Tsunoda has grit and he wants to prove himself. But I feel like deep down, I don't know if Yuki wants to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe if he believes that they'll actually build a car around him and that it'll be better. But it just seems like a terrible place to be.
Right.
And-
And I'm curious because like we constantly rag on Helmut Marko for being the problem.
But have you ever read his life story?
No, I don't care to.
We had someone on Instagram try and offer sympathy towards Darth Marco with my simple joke about being a Sith Lord. And I was like,
They're
calm
like, do
down.
you know his story? And it's like,
yeah.
you do? You looked it up?
Yeah. I'm like, have you read his recent story? 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty bad.
Because it's laced with controversy.
Yeah. It's like, dude, he might be.
Controversy.
Yeah. It's like, ease up, dude. Ease up.
It's
Anyway.
definitely not. Yeah, it seems like we're not on the same page with that guy. But basically, look, I think that, what I was going to say is that Helmut Marko is definitely what we consider to be the pain point for the driver program and everything, because he's the one that's over it.
The pain point for Red Bull.
Period,
Pain point in
right?
Formula One.
But
Yeah.
he stated that at any moment that he decides that he's done, Sebastian Vettel is pretty much in line to be his successor.
How dare you say that to us?
Right?
It's Hawkeye. How dare you give me hope?
Yeah. It's like, just do it.
Just
then.
do it.
Just die.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
That's how we feel.
like move aside.
What are you doing anymore?
What are you doing other
What-
than making this so difficult?
Yeah, what
Because-
value are you bringing to this team?
You can't tell me that Max would consider leaving, or even Adrian Newey, or like any of the moves that have happened at Red Bull.
Yeah.
If the driver development program consultant, whatever the crap his role is,
Yeah.
is Sebastian Vettel. None of this happens.
Yeah.
None of this happens.
Yeah.
It's all been Jos Verstappen and Helmut Marko.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm like, if you have made this move last
you
season,
couldn't
we're
pick-
in a different place.
You couldn't pick someone who was more polar opposite than Helmut Marko
That's
than
what I'm
Sebastian
saying.
Vettel.
The most empathetic,
Yeah.
and just like
good
rad
guy
dude.
who's really good at driving.
Right.
Who has a good relationship with
With
everyone.
literally everyone.
Yeah.
He could recruit Lewis Hamilton to race for Red Bull, and
Yeah.
he hates Christian Horner.
Yeah.
Like, there's a driver
Yeah.
on the grid who hates Christian. It's
Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah. I like what what is Helmut Marko doing? Like
Move
that's,
aside.
that's insane.
Move aside.
It's like, let's give him a few more years, see what he's got.
Yeah, it's like,
Things are going well so far.
yeah.
You've lost all your key players.
He's just a rookie.
Let's see what he's cooking.
And he's just Jack doing in this way right now.
What else has Helmut got?
He's a spring chicken.
Let's see what other like harm he can do to the franchise. Dang. And what? Yeah. Ooh, it's just an old idiot who's like won't let go of power.
Yeah, you're like, just move aside.
How old is he? 88?
Something crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm Googling it.
Yeah, look it up. Because at some point get rid of this old guy.
Darth.
Bring in Sebastian
Helmut
Vettel.
Marko.
He would be so fun to see around. Yeah, he would do a lot of good. And honestly, we've talked a lot about how
82.
82.
Most people retire at
this
like
guy
60.
isn't helping. Yeah, this guy isn't helping. I did look up. He was a 24-hour Le Mans winner.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know what he said though?
He said,
He said, "I would retire, but then my wife would tell me to leave the house."
"What?
I'm just kidding, but you know how
I was
people
gonna
say that.
Does it shock you that he doesn't have a good relationship with his wife? That's interesting.
I just love that everyone always
shocker.
says it's always the go-to joke. Like I'm nervous to retire because my wife's gonna want me to leave home.
Another reason why Alonso has it down.
He's like, I don't need that.
I'll do whatever I want.
I'll retire and I'll freaking go on a rampage. I'll do
Yeah.
whatever I want.
Man, that's crazy. We need to start a petition. Get Marco out.
Yeah. Bring in Vettel and things are gonna change.
Man, because we have talked about how toxic that company is, and that is why I think it is failing.
Right.
It is on a trajectory downhill fast.
This is the only
And
way
it's
to
all
spike it
management.
back up.
I know, you bring in one of the brightest like stars and hopes of Formula One. Like, man, that would change culture around really quick.
Right.
And then you would have drivers who'd be like, "Oh, I would want to work with Sebastian,"
Right.
and it would make
That's
sense.
what I mean. It's like George Russell suddenly isn't the only option to replace Max.
right.
If Vettel is captain,
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Sainz is on the table. These guys who are like committed to their seats right now.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah. How dark?
James Valls is great and everything.
How
but
dark is Red Bull's future if you're considering George Russell?
Get,
Bad.
right. Right. We're talking about the same company, the squirrel suit flying through canyons and flipping dirt bikes off of landmarks. It's like, no, Red Bull and Hall Monitor are not in the same sentence.
Yeah.
I don't understand that could be a play.
Yeah. Jeez. That's crazy.
So anyways, I just think it's in their best interest. Just move
Just get out of the way.
move over.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So anyways,
There's our rookie rant.
rookie rant.
The old
Moving
rookie
on.
rant. Moving on. What do you remember from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? I kind of forgot.
There was
Oscar won.
Oscar won,
Yeah.
proving once again that we are right about everything on this podcast.
I don't think we've ever made a mistake.
We've never ever misstepped.
Never. I have
Insert
perfect.
clip of us misstepping.
I have never made a mistake ever in my life.
Not once.
Yeah, exactly.
Not once. No, but Oscar is proving pretty much exactly what we said from the beginning. That he was built for this.
Yeah.
And he's showing that, man, like Oscar's pass around the outside of Max, or was it Lewis? It was around Lewis,
Yeah.
where you see the dust fly up and through the marbles. Oh my gosh. Do you know what I'm talking about? He goes around the barrier and it is like tight to get past Lewis. And dude,
Yeah.
I've never seen a clip like that from Lando where I was like, that was sick.
That was very cool.
Yeah, that pass was so
Yeah,
rad.
you had to have guts to do that and
Right.
to shoot for that gap and then to complete it.
On a 7-time world champ.
Yeah, nuts.
Of all people, you're going to go wheel to wheel with the gnarliest dude on the
It's
track.
like, yeah, just don't care.
Don't care.
Now this is my win.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the one point that I really wanted to make from the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was turn one.
Yeah. Oh, right. We had the big controversy.
Right.
Max and Oscar, who was at fault? Who deserved the penalty? And why was it only 5 seconds and not 10? I thought we were at a 10-second penalty standard.
I'll stop humming.
Yeah.
But no, you're not
All
wrong.
questions for you.
Yes. Okay, where should I start?
Yeah. Why did they hit Kevin Magnussen?
Okay. First of all, Denmark.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen their flag? It's not super original. Just kidding. We love you, K-Mac.
Yeah, last year Kevin Magnussen got penalized, and it
so
was
many times
and
for
it
like
was
dumbest crap.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you spoke too long on the radio. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
What the crap?
I was like, what are you doing? How?
And this year was 5 seconds. I thought, okay. Anyway,
So they
I'm
said that
derailing
because
this.
it was a first lap incident, it wasn't as severe. So
Oh.
they made it 5 seconds, which I've never heard.
Oh,
So-
there's different points in the race where the points are more severe.
Right.
Lap 33, it's only a 1 second penalty. 33 is like, ugh, no one cares. No one cares. It's like lap 50, that is a 50-second penalty.
That penalty
I
right
do
there.
not.
You're going to get spanked. You don't want a 50-second penalty, or you have to come down pit lane
You
and we
get
get a
50
spanking.
seconds on lap 50, and Helmet Marco gets to spank you.
You have to unbuckle, climb out of the car during the pit stop. No one can touch the car. No one can touch the car. It's a very
And
important
Helmet
part of
comes
the
out
rule.
with a paddle and spanks you from 10 feet away. And then you get back in the car and you drive with a
And
red
then
bottom.
you have to, and you're really saddle sore. Super saddle sore.
But that's only on lap 50.
That's only lap 50.
Lap 33, 1 second.
1 second.
That is so weird.
So first lap, supposedly less severe because it's a first lap racing incident. Whatever. The other thing that I want to quickly just like touch on, go back for anyone who's listening to watch the first lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix where Max is contesting the lead, and he's made that corner none of the times. This has been his signature move to not make the first turn on the first lap, especially if he's side by side with anybody.
Say that again.
Max has like pretty much never made turn one
At Saudi Arabia?
at Saudi
any race?
Arabia when he's like when someone's side by side
Oh,
with him. It's just
okay,
always just like, okay, I'm out bailed, go
Yeah,
for the
interesting.
lead. So it's pretty much his signature move. Max did start on pole,
Yeah.
so he had the line that he technically could, make a difference here. But when they made their move toward the corner, Oscar was ahead, and in typical Max fashion, just releasing the brake to say, I'm dead even with him at the apex of the corner.
Yeah.
And so when he forced me wide, quote unquote, I could
Yeah.
just drive through and I don't have a penalty coming
Yeah.
my way. But the problem with that thinking, especially on this racetrack, is that it's like if the guy who has the inside line, which is Oscar, uses all the racetrack that is technically his corner to do that. And this is what the rules are that Max always exploits. This is the signature Max Verstappen move. Force someone wide, keep your car on the racetrack and within the white lines, and then you're not the one who gets the penalty.
So you're like saying if roles were reversed, this is what Max would
This is absolutely what Max does to everybody, which is push them as far wide as you can, keep the car on track, and then you're not the one who gets the penalty. And so Oscar out Max Verstappen
go.
in turn one in Saudi Arabia. And that is another reason why
He's now leading the
he is not
championship.
Lando Norris, who drives through the grass and says, he forced me off in the pit exit. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You drove on the grass yourself. This isn't turn one. They don't have a rule for this.
Yeah.
Just fall in line.
Yeah.
You big dummy.
Yeah.
So there's just different mentalities. And you can see the killer instinct in that. Oscar read the room. He knows who he's racing. He knows the rules, and he did exactly what Max would do.
Dang, man.
So round of applause to Oscar. He deserved the win, and he's the chosen one. He's the one that can take the fight to Max.
Yeah, for real. He's got a good shot. I love it. Then Yuki and Pierre crashed.
As soon as it happened, I felt bad, and I was like, these two dudes are like the most bromance of any duo in the field is Pierre and Yuki, because they were teammates forever.
Oh, that's right.
And
Were they?
yeah, they were teammates forever.
How long has Yuki been in the sport?
Alpha Tauri and
Crazy. I forget that.
right. And so it's like they're both gonna get over this. It was totally just like Yuki ran a little wide and Pierre was a little bit opportunistic.
Yeah.
They both can admit a little bit of fault and just like first lap racing bummer.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of them are gonna hold a grudge over that.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of tight cars. I mean, a lot of cars going through a tight little like track circuit.
Yeah.
It's really skinny.
On
and-
purpose.
On purpose.
Right.
And we purpose for those crashes.
Right.
So that's good. It was fun.
So we yielded the result we wanted.
Yeah.
It just took out two homies, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But I think they'll both bounce back okay.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, it was a good race. It was a fun race.
I thought so.
Okay. Anything else to talk about Saudi Arabia?
That's pretty much
That's pretty much
the bulk of it.
After 2 weeks, that's pretty much all we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Because Oscar's leading the championship, and it's pretty cool.
all is right in
Yeah.
the world.
And
All is right.
all's right in the world, but Formula One themselves are mad that it's not a Brit anymore. And that's going to make them even more mad.
And yeah,
Okay.
we hate to see what they're capable of at this
Okay.
point.
Shifting gears a little bit.
Yep.
Do you want to go into first gear or second gear?
The next week they announced they're just like, fastest lap point is back.
We are reinstating every time Lando did it, but none else.
No one else. We're just the fastest lap can only be awarded to Brits.
Brits whose name rhyme with Bando.
And Orge.
You have to be a British person on a British-owned team.
Yes.
And
It doesn't matter if your brand is German. If you run in England, qualify.
perfect.
So those are the rules. Those are new rules.
Yeah.
I've heard the rumor.
Yeah. Man, what if they brought the fastest lap back as soon as Lando starts to dip? Because we made a prediction last year. Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if Lando loses the championship by the amount of fastest laps he would have won?
It would,
Because he complained last year about losing the fastest lap.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
he was the whole reason it went away.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is so stupid.
Yeah.
But I did forget about one
This is
thing.
karma coming back for Lando.
Yeah.
I
100%.
forgot about one thing. Sorry.
Did you hear? And there was like footage of it
Nope.
that MBS, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, who's the FIA president,
Okay.
walked up to Max
Okay.
before he did his post-race interview. And in the post-race interview, Max said, like, it's probably best that I not say anything at all. But, you know, like, got a decent result today, and that's basically all I can say.
What the heck is this? This is a weird
And-
conspiracy.
And he, like, puts the mic down, and they, like, weren't ready for the next interview because he was done so fast. But the rumor is supposedly
Yeah, what is the rumor?
Ben threatened him, saying, like, you will be penalized and, like, get a fine if you run your mouth.
What
Because
the
Max
heck?
was pissed about the penalty.
Whoa.
And so they were, and he knew it. You
Yeah.
could see it all over Max's face that he was PO'd, that he
Dang.
had to deal with this penalty.
What the
And
heck?
so Ben walks up and talks to him. And then right after, Max gives a very quick and brief, like, non-combative answer.
Mm-hmm.
Max drinks the champagne on the podium, doesn't really spray anybody, and just, like, walks off.
Jeez.
And so, is it true? I mean, everybody saw it. There's iPhone footage of Ben walking over and talking to Max and kind of giving him, like, one of these.
Doing the old
The
Bonotto.
old Mattia Bonotto, yeah.
Yeah.
And just wild.
That's crazy.
Wild.
That is wild. Like, why? What does it hurt to hear a driver complain about the race?
I mean, this has been the culture of, unfortunately, what the FIA has been like over the last little while. So it seems more dictatorship than it has been previously, which is nuts. I mean, hopefully they don't continue down that road.
Why do these guys get so butthurt about, like, they're like, we gave a driver a penalty and then he was mad.
They gave Carlos Sainz a $10,000 fine for having to take a dump during the national anthem. And what was that, Bahrain?
It was recent, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, is that really necessary?
That's crazy.
What does that 10 grand go to do?
Yeah.
Like, this is an insane thing to do. But also, you know, the penalties for swearing and all the things that have kind of come up more recently, they just don't seem like they're in line with, like, the way that the drivers have been expressing themselves on Netflix. A lot of the things that, like,
Gosh.
you know, the new version of the sport has been pushing for seems really counterintuitive with. So it just seemed interesting that this exchange
That
would
is
take place
interesting.
right before Max
Yeah.
doesn't give an interview.
Yeah.
Seems kind of weird.
Yeah. Getting weird media coaching from the owner of the FIA or the president of the FIA
Yeah.
right before you speak is so sketch.
And with, like, this,
Yeah,
you're
that
like,
is so
what do you
sketch.
get?
Man, I want Max to just do it.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the penalty? $10,000?
Yeah, it's like, what?
And then I want him on the mic to be like, Ben just told me not to say anything, but, like, I'm mad.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
But Max has gotten community service for swearing in the past from the FIA. You're like, community service?
that's so crazy.
Dude, just get like a $50-60 million annual
you
contract.
know the fans want more drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
It seems weird. It's like, you know, I watch baseball and stuff. It's like baseball players run their mouth on the mic and they swear on live television
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's way more offensive than these media press rooms that they don't necessarily televise. You know, at least not in
I
America.
honestly sometimes don't know where to find the media press rooms.
Yeah, no.
On the F1 app,
Yeah.
I have to click into it.
there or when they pick highlights to put on social media
Yeah.
because they make a joke or something. Yeah, it's pretty much the only time that you really see anything from there as a
Yeah.
consumer. So you have to seek it out. So anyways, it just seems
Interesting.
outrageous.
That is so outrageous.
Yeah,
Dang. Okay, shifting gears a little bit.
let's do it.
Okay. Well, we got Miami this week. We also have lots of people who are talking about Lewis.
Yes.
What do you think sounds more fun to talk about?
Between those two?
Yeah. Should we end with Miami?
Yeah, that
Okay.
seems like it makes sense.
Okay, so Lewis and Ferrari.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are bagging on Lewis because he can't drive a car.
I mean, I don't even think it's bagging on him, but I think it's just funny the amount of conversation around it. And
Lewis is the biggest name in the sport.
he is.
And we were all hoping that he would get into a car and it would just float on the
And it
ground
would
because
just
he's
be
so good at driving it.
And it would be just competitive out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
But we've thought that about every season, that we hoped that someone would be not Mercedes, someone who would be not Red Bull.
Yeah.
Right? Like if there's a dominant team, we're always hoping that Ferrari could be the one that dethrones them. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that hopium is not good for anyone's mental or emotional stability.
Yeah.
But I think that everybody deep down anticipated that this was possible, right? So I think that the thing that is really still funny, and I think we might have mentioned it on the last episode, but just to reiterate it, Catalunya, which is the 30th of May and 1st of June, is the first time this year that they tighten the rules up on how flexible the wings can be.
Okay.
There is a big part of me that believes that, and if I think that Fred Visser is a chess player,
Okay.
big time,
Yeah.
compared to a lot of his team
We
principal
talked about his strategy in the
counterparts.
past and how clever he is.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that if I were betting on something, and I'm not saying that this is going to be an immediate return to form and that Ferrari is going to be the fastest car, I don't think it's going to be that. However, I think that Ferrari's competitive ability is going to turn big time in Spain.
Okay.
Because I would think that, look, this is how many races in? It's 2, 4,
We've done 5
6,
so far.
8, 9. So it'll be the 9th race of the season.
Okay.
I'd have a 24 race calendar,
Okay.
right? If you put all your eggs in the Catalunya and onward basket,
Yeah.
then you're focused on the way more larger portion of the calendar,
Okay.
as
Yeah,
opposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
focusing too much on the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, if you're more competitive at that point and you're destroying Mercedes,
Mm-hmm.
or you're competitive with the McLaren, you turn your season around.
Yeah, you can do your
So
whole season.
there's a big part of me that feels like there could be a change in form there. And if there's one thing I know about Lewis Hamilton from being a viewer for years and years, is that guy is so good at being cryptic
Yeah, he is.
and playing poker.
Yeah.
Don't look at Ferrari. Don't mind the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
The more that he makes people believe that they're not going to return to form, the more that Ferrari comes up with sneaky crap and makes it a powerful car.
Why do I think the opposite? Why do I assume he's always been honest?
Because Bono, my tires are
I
gone.
know,
This guy is known
this
for
guy
this.
is a classic liar.
Right. He is
No, he's just playing chess, mental chess.
He's
mind
a mental
games.
chess man, and so is Fred.
There you go.
So
well, this is an interesting theory, and I like it
I'm hoping.
because
Hope is not good as a Ferrari fan. I know that.
no, everyone knows that. But last year, a lot of teams like McLaren and Ferrari kind of had a great second half of the season.
Right.
And McLaren came back and won the championship.
Right.
So it's not out of the question.
It's definitely not.
And we have talked about how McLaren, if they want to get far ahead, they need to score as many points as they can before
Right
that
now.
little regulation change.
Yep.
Because is Ferrari's wing less flexible than McLaren's?
From what I have seen,
Yeah.
when they measure that line, where they've done the draw the line over the rear wing and the front wings and whatever, Ferrari's usually the one that's straighter. So to me, it's like they're building the car right now, developing, making upgrades and everything based on what that regulation update will be.
Okay.
Whereas McLaren's is flexing like crazy, and their car is only a little bit better.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I'm not the one who can engineer the math on this one, but if you were to gauge those lap times off of flexible and non-flexible wings, they'd probably be pretty comparable.
Yeah. I can see it. It's a good argument.
So I think that
It's a fun little theory.
Not all hope is lost yet.
Okay.
I think-
Yeah. If you're a Ferrari fan out there, if you're a Lewis fan, don't lose hope.
Don't lose hope.
Yeah.
And if there's ever a time for Lewis to struggle to gain grips with how the car functions and everything, do it now while the car's less competitive. And then by the time you get to Spain and you've figured out diff settings, engine maps, whatever, then you turn your form around and the car's more competitive.
Yeah. How do you feel about Lewis versus Charles?
But that's what I'm saying is right now is probably the best time for Lewis to just like be okay with a little bit less success than he's used to. So that way he can get on top of what the car's mechanics are, how it's going to work with his driving style, and what he needs to adapt.
Yeah.
And so I think that Lewis is definitely not keeping up with Charles, but can we really expect somebody who's never driven a Ferrari powertrain to just deliver out of the box?
Just be crushing it against the guy who's only driven in a Ferrari?
For the record, for those who are listening and maybe don't remember this, Carlos Sainz raced for Toro Rosso, which was the reason it was named Toro Rosso, which is Red Bull in Italian.
In Ferrari language.
In the language of Forza Ferrari, is because it was a Ferrari power unit. So this is not Carlos. That was not Carlos's first rodeo in that car or in that powertrain. So when he got into a car that was really competitive with the power unit that he was used to, then huge opportunity for him. Lewis has had a Mercedes his entire career.
Oh yeah, because that McLaren was at a Mercedes.
It was a Mercedes power unit.
Oh geez, yeah.
So this is his first stint in a different
This is
language.
an interesting question. Of course, it seems like an obvious answer, but does the power unit actually like behave differently from car to car?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's an obvious answer.
They're gonna have different characteristics, nuances, but it's like I said, where they're engineering their lap time differences are going to be different to what Mercedes have been doing, and especially if there hasn't been a lot of like crossing that threshold. Sebastian raced with a Renault powertrain at Red Bull. So when he went to Ferrari, he had some Renault language to be able to speak at Ferrari. But to my knowledge, there hasn't been a lot of crossover between Mercedes and Ferrari over drivers.
Interesting.
So
and I'm putting you on the spot here. Like, in what ways does a power unit behave differently? Like, does it accelerate a bit quicker? Like, do gear change go towards the power unit?
Gear ratio. I mean, everything can
It seems like everything's like different depending on how you build it.
Right. And so
that's why I feel like the power unit sometimes doesn't matter, but of course it matters. That's a stupid thing to say.
No, I mean, but the characteristics of every powertrain is going to be different because of even how you map out your gear ratios for each racetrack. Like the things that you are paying attention to are going to be very different. And so, some drivers are depending on more electricity than others. It just depends on how they've ratioed out some of those tools. I don't know the specifications enough to say that even the turbos are all the same size, but they're definitely not all made the same.
Yeah.
So, when it kicks in and how it kicks in and all that stuff is going to be different. But in addition to that, it's all the engine map settings. It's the diff settings. And you've seen that when they're messing with steering wheel modes while they're doing a qualifying lap.
Yeah.
And all those switches and everything. So Lewis is learning where to switch the dials to and what it does. And he's been doing that with Mercedes for over a decade. And to get into a race car where those switches do different things is going to be very, very, very hard to learn.
Can you imagine? You've done a lot of graphic design. I'm just imagining, like, can you imagine going from like Photoshop and knowing every single hotkey in the world?
Yeah.
To like another design program.
This is happening to me. This is currently happening.
Are you
to
using
me.
because is it Figma?
Figma. It's Figma.
Yeah, because I use Figma.
Yeah, going from Illustrator to Figma is the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah, because Illustrator is
And then when I go backwards,
very complex, and I don't like it. And Figma's just like pretty easy.
when I go backwards to Illustrator, I'll like hold control and mouse up, like scroll up so I can zoom in. And I'm like, oh, for crying out loud, it doesn't do that. And it's just like, it's annoying how many like,
it's like bilingual.
it is.
Yeah, it's like learning an engine in a different language.
Right. But
crazy.
imagine those languages being French and Spanish,
Yeah.
where it's like, or Portuguese and
Italian.
Spanish. Right. It's like these languages, they're so close.
Yeah.
And so the mistakes are easy to make because
Yeah.
you're like, dang it, that was a Mercedes brain. I need to do this one now or whatever. So there's just that nuance deserves a lot more credit.
Yeah.
Especially for how long. I mean, we've joked with like the Xbox versus PlayStation controller,
Yeah.
but I do think that even more complicated if you're a designer and you've gone from Illustrator to Figma, or if you're an editor and you've gone from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve. These are none of these are the same, and they all do the same thing. But how you get to that end result quickly,
Yeah.
especially if you're skilled at it, is going to be deeply frustrating,
Yeah.
especially if you spent more than a decade doing it.
Yeah,
So,
totally. It's a good point, man. It's a good point.
Yep.
I'll just say that, like, I feel like if you're a Lewis fan, don't lose hope.
not yet.
Don't lose hope.
Not yet.
It would still be amazing to see Lewis come back and win the championship, which could be possible.
Right.
Because, again, he'd be proving all of that wrong. And it would be so great to see the old guy go to Ferrari, save Ferrari, like get vindicated in his 8th championship that he, like, feels like he kind of won and got cheated out of.
And most of the sport agrees.
It'd be a big celebration.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, too,
If Ferrari hasn't paid for that to happen,
no.
that's crazy.
Right.
They probably have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some shady conspiracy theory stuff behind the works.
Behind the
You
works
think?
for sure. Yeah.
No, but like the other thing is too is that a lot of people are like, well, Carlos Sainz and Charles scored more points last year than they did this year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm a Carlos Sainz fan, but it took Carlos a while to win. Lewis won a sprint race already,
Yeah.
and Charles's first podium was just barely. But just saying, like,
Things aren't as bleak.
it's
as
not
people
as
are
bleak as everyone
claiming.
is making it feel or
Okay,
sound.
cool.
Not in my opinion.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, and there still could be hope that Charles gets kicked off the team.
And plays piano.
And Ollie Behrman jumps in.
Yeah, we can only hope that, the only way that Billie Eilish is going to improve her tour this year is if Charles Leclerc gets the boot so he can play piano for her.
I think he'd be great at piano
I
for
think
Billie
he'd do
Eilish.
super good.
Yeah. For sure. Okay. Last thing.
I've just made so many enemies with that joke.
What time are we at? How are we
Somewhere
doing?
around an hour.
Okay, cool. Are people in the chat?
Kyle,
We have 500 people in the chat. That's crazy.
yeah, Kyle said something. He said we got to check out Live Breath Football Racing Collection.
We do. He sent me a message I haven't been able to check yet.
Oh, okay,
but
so we need to check it.
yeah.
But he also said he's been snowboarding for like 22 years. Kevin, how did you sprain your ankle?
Oh,
So
sorry,
yeah.
Kevin, producer.
Yeah, sorry.
The fans are
producer.
taking shots.
We've thrown you under the bus, and now Kyle is chiming in as well. Rightfully so.
Maybe he was saving a friend from a bear,
Yeah, maybe.
and he rolled his ankle.
It was in Utah, Max. It wasn't in Canada, okay?
Okay, a deer. One of those vicious Utah mule
It
deer.
wasn't a moose that was like, hey, Kevin, hey, you enjoy being in Canada, eh?
Yeah, that's a great
So
one.
is that Canadian?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah, Kevin.
it's
I'm a moose from Canada, Kevin.
a Kiwi moose.
Oh, bro. Oh, Kevin, did you roll your ankle?
Bro,
Put some ice on that. Oh, it's gonna be heaps swollen if you take your boot off.
the good thing is that you're in some snow. You take the boot off and you stick your foot in.
Just pack the snow in there, bro. You'll be fine, sweet ass.
I know you're thinking that a hot tub sounds pretty nice right now. Bad idea, bro. Don't do that.
Anyway, Canada, maple syrup,
All the good things.
all the good things,
Yeah.
hockey.
Hey,
Oh,
all right.
anyway, moving on. Let's stop that train wreck.
Oh, it's the best train wreck.
Okay, Miami
last
Grand
thing.
Prix predictions.
I like that we named this episode the Miami GP preview.
haven't talked
We're
about
gonna give
it.
it 3 seconds.
It's only been rookies and Lewis. And it's not even going to be the race preview because we have written here Miami celebrity predictions.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, which
Okay.
is what Miami has become known as.
Yeah.
It's just like, what terrible celebrities can we pull up from the garbage and plaster across the grid?
What train wreck performance will I Am do this year?
Yeah. What F1 song has he written hoping that Formula One will pick it up?
Is Lil Wayne in this one?
Is it going to be rev themed? Rev, shift, get into gear, get into gear.
Kick that third pedal.
Yeah, baby, can you?
There isn't one. They don't have that.
Yeah. Will.i.am's gunning for an F1 song. I know he's been writing it. We've had amazing celebrities in the past at the Miami Grand Prix.
Yes, great one.
Machine Gun Kelly. Meg the Stallion. Will.i.am.
Draco Malfoy.
Who was the celebrity calling out the people last year when they came out of the tunnel? Was it Will.i.am? It was Will.i.am.
LL Cool J?
It was LL Cool J.
That's who I thought it was.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What celebrities
Okay.
are going to be present? And if you can either say they're going to be on the grid or they're going to be part of the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you think? What do you think?
The entire space crew from Blue Origins.
You mean the astronauts? You mean the newly crowned astronauts?
Oh.
You think Katy Perry's gonna fly in? You think she's gonna parachute down?
She's gonna parachute in the space capsule.
Yeah.
Perform a new song no one asked for.
She's gonna be wearing an alien costume. That's a great guess. She's so hot right now.
Oh, can't believe how much she's bringing it back.
That is cringy enough for the Miami Grand Prix. Remember Miami Grand Prix's tagline is like cringe on the grid.
Yeah.
Cringe at 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. The fastest cringe on Earth.
Okay. Katy Perry's a great choice.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. Yeah. In her Blue Origins astronaut. She's finally going to present all her findings from the space trip. She has a lot of data
She
to
has
show us.
so much data. She was like, Adrian Newey wanted me to figure out what the burn rate was like.
I learned a lot about aerodynamics and burn rate and heat. And we're finally going to bring it over and hand it over to Adrian Newey.
And I wrote it into a song. It's called Burn Rate and Heat. Here it goes.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to shoot fireworks out of my shirt.
Dang, that's too freaking good. That's too good.
Yeah, I don't know who else I could put on that list.
Man, everything I say now is going to sound stupid. I want like Tyrese to be there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. From Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ejectocito cuz.
Exactly.
George Russell's like.
I mean, he's just kind of like, he's just out of the public eye for long enough that I feel like you could see him pop up on the grid.
Yeah.
That's one. And
Tyrese is good.
Yeah, Tyrese.
Yeah. Luda.
Luda would be great.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though: is Luda's welcome.
Yeah, Luda's. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Stoked about Luda.
Great guest.
In terms of like actual celebrities, I'd want to see T-Pain.
Yeah.
I want to see T-Pain at the Miami Grand Prix. I think that's his vibe.
Right.
And I think he's kind of like on a good kick recently. The past couple of years, he's had some good music. He has a song. Maybe we've talked about it. He has a song about rotary engines.
Oh yeah.
And like the Mazda R8 or what is it? What's
RX-7?
RX-7?
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, get him to write the F1 theme song. I would want him actually there.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I mean, I think like Kendrick's had a great year, but with the Super Bowl and everything, so I don't feel like he needs another public appearance. But obviously, he'd be a welcome guest as well.
I'd want to see him at Vegas.
Yeah.
He'd be good at Vegas.
Yeah, it's closer to his hometown for sure.
Totally. Man.
I'm half wondering if they're gonna start really pushing hard on the Brad Pitt F1 movie.
Oh,
and
they do need to start like promoting that.
Yeah, and like instead of him pretending to be a driver, like actually be like there
Now
for
he's
interviews.
there.
Yeah,
He's interviewing the drivers.
Right.
Or he might be the one calling them out of the tunnel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that guy the big football star? Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Deion Sanderson. Deion Sanders.
Oh,
could be there.
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Neon Deion.
Yeah, he didn't get like picked for like this
Yeah, I was just
draft he was
listening to
going
a
for.
podcast about that. Yeah.
He could be at the Miami Grand Prix. That's
Yeah.
cringy enough to get him there. Deion
Totally.
Sanders making him go out and do interviews.
Yeah, 100%.
That'd be great. That'd be really great.
Very good. I mean, I always feel like it's weird that Dan Marino hasn't shown up.
Oh yeah,
Like this is his
He's a Florida
literal
legend.
house. This is the house he built.
Florida legend.
I feel like the tie between the Dolphins and the race has kind of been weirdly not there.
Yeah, why aren't there fake dolphins in the fake pool? Like little fins popping out of the water.
Right. That's a good idea. I'm glad they're fake. This was definitely asking for another Blackfish documentary, if not.
You think they're just gonna throw dolphins onto the fake pool? They're like they're mammals.
Cringe at 200 miles an hour max. I don't make the rules.
They're like they'll breathe. They're fine. Just keep spritzing them with water.
Yeah, you got those little
Got to
fellows.
keep them moist. If you don't keep those dolphins moist, they dry up quick.
Apparently, it's Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation
Yeah,
who runs this.
yeah.
You
Just
ever
a dump
swam
truck
with the
just sliding dolphins onto the thing.
You ever try to swim the dolphins, Clark?
I can imagine them putting one dolphin in the pool and
Yeah.
making it like a saltwater pool.
Yeah.
Because they do have a pool there with like fake mermaids in it. Remember that?
Oh, gosh.
There could be one dolphin going around in
It's
it.
just so shallow.
It'd be so shallow.
Snowflake, wasn't that the name of the dolphin from Ace Ventura?
Honestly, Will Smith would now be super cringy to be there.
Yeah.
He has gone to Formula One Grand Prix in the past before the whole slap and before he got weird.
Yeah, he like made that skit with Lewis Hamilton that he like taped him up and he was
he
gonna
wanted
like
to be
steal his
Lewis.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a
It
good
was
skit.
back when we were like, there's one celebrity that likes Formula One.
Yeah, totally.
But now if he went there, he'd be super cringe.
Yeah.
I can see him performing in Miami, though.
Yeah, which would be great.
It would be great.
I mean, it's the anthem of the people. Let's
it is
be
the
serious.
anthem, yeah.
I also feel like has Pitbull been there? I know that sounds really stupid, but it also feels like this is his people.
That's a no-brainer. That's like a home run.
Right.
And he hasn't been there.
No. I mean, he was a part owner in a NASCAR team.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he hasn't
How many
done
people
it.
are going to get snubbed by Martin? Or how many people are going to snub Martin
Did you
Brundle?
see Usher snub him?
I saw he was at the thing. I didn't know if he snubbed him.
He did, yeah, of course.
Oh, why did he fall trap to that?
I
Of
don't
course
know.
Usher did. He's
Yeah.
out of his mind. Yeah.
But J-Lo is in the Ferrari garage as well.
I did see that. She's hanging out with Lewis, and I was like, gosh. Ferrari, you're making it hard.
Yeah. Just focus.
Yeah.
Focus your energy not on Jennifer Lopez
I
from
can
the
s-
block.
Oh. I don't know if Billie Eilish would go to the race.
Oh,
See, that's cringe. We'd hate
so
that.
cringy.
I can see her snubbing Martin Brundle.
Yeah. Could you
Yeah.
imagine if they opened the Miami Grand Prix with Phoebe Bridgers though, and it just was like so?
I would
like,
love Phoebe Bridgers
No,
at
but
the
it would be
Grand-
like so out of place,
It
like
would
this,
be.
like very emo and like a
Very
skeleton outfit.
depressing, sad girl music about
We are
like
so off the rails with this, by the way.
just about like Elliott Smith, a song about Elliott Smith before the Miami Grand Prix.
Ryan Adams is just like, yeah. It's emotional motion sickness. It's like, this feels like a race car song, right?
Yeah,
Ah.
it's her most upbeat one.
It's definitely it gets some people
Like,
going.
why did we book her? I don't know, but she
Someone-
has to play.
My daughter said that she was cool.
Yeah, man, I would like that.
It'd be great and awkward all at the same
And no
time.
one would know who she was.
Yeah.
No one would know who she was. Martin Brundle would snub her not knowing who she was.
You're not important.
Yeah.
I love how many times Martin has the opportunity to say something snarky back. Do you know what? One of the best moments was that Flavio. Did you see that on the grid walk?
No.
This was so good. It was so typical Martin. And then we'll really do our race predictions for Miami and we'll be done. But he walks up to Flavio and he says something like, "Hi, who are you?" to Martin Brundle. And Martin's like, "Hi, yes, I'm Martin Brundle. You fired me once. How are you?" It's just
That's so
undefeated.
funny.
Undefeated. Martin's the best.
That's so funny.
Freaking love him.
Okay,
So
race predictions.
it's tricky. This is more like Suzuka.
Who won Suzuka?
Max.
Man, I'm still gonna say Oscar. Probably because I just want Oscar to beat Lando at his like first win track.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And like, why do we want to keep hammering that Lando nail into the ground?
It just feels right. Just feels right.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say Oscar takes it. Yeah, he's gonna get a good qualifying lap, and he's gonna take the race.
I mean, Saudi Arabia was definitely poised to be more of Red Bull's race, and Oscar did manage to pull it off. And so I think there's a strong possibility. And like Lando was trying to compensate for things, made a mistake in qualifying. Possibility that he does that same thing in Miami. So we'll have to see. I'm definitely on
There's
the same
definitely
boat.
a lot of pressure building up on Lando to be like, hey, here's where you got your first race.
Yeah.
Like the pressure's on now. Like you've done it before, time to do it again. And I can see him cracking under that pressure again.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. It's brutal, but it's reality.
That's kind of how I feel. What team is really good in the straights? I feel like Miami has that insanely long straight in the back.
They do have the huge straight, and because of the flexible wings, the McLaren. But they also have a lot of that high speed, high load, G-force cornering through some of that. And that's where Max's strength has been, is being able to throw it through some of that stuff. So it's going to be a pretty even split. And so I think we get another round of Jetta-like racing in Miami, which was awesome. I
Yeah.
loved the Jetta race, and so I'm ready for round 2.
Should be fun. I'm stoked to have a race this week. Yeah, should be fun.
Should be awesome.
Stoked to see Katy Perry. That'd be good. If you don't follow us already, please follow us on Instagram, on Spotify. Follow us on YouTube. This is where obviously these videos live. But if you're just seeing this now, follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and then join us as we keep doing these live episodes in the future. Yeah, we're stoked about it. See you next week.